Hello everyone, my name is Jazz and welcome to my channel. Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So happy and excited for today's video because I'm going to share with you 15 DIY planters that I made throughout my channel. And I just have like this idea of mine to put all of the planters that I have made in one video for you guys. I hope that you like them and that you can get inspired by these ideas. And if you do, please give me a big thumbs up. That really helps to support my channel. And make sure that you are subscribed and that you hit the bell to get notified every single time that I'm going to be uploading new videos. Make sure that you follow me on all my social media pages, my webpage, and my other channel, JAZOMY home. All the links are going to be in the description box of this video and every single video, and let's get started. I'm going to be using these Jumbo popsicle sticks from Walmart, but you can recreate this same project using any type of popsicle sticks that you have at home. I'm going to put all my popsicle sticks together and I'm going to draw a straight line, and I'm going to cut one end of each popsicle stick with my scissors. Now it is time to paint your popsicle sticks. I will be using 5 different shades. I'm going to be mixing some paint and colors. I will use my Waverly wax in antique color, and in some popsicle sticks I will mix it with black color, and other popsicle sticks are going to be just black color, and others maybe can have more of like a mineral color from Waverly chalk paint. And as I said, I'm going to be mixing paint just to have like 5 different shades. You can do more or you can do less. It depends on what colors you want your project to have. From there, you can use any container that you have at home, or you can use a glass jar from Dollar Tree. It depends on what you have at home. And what I'm going to be doing is to start sticking all the popsicle sticks, interspersing the colors that you stick together. Once you stick all the popsicle sticks, you can add a ribbon or a bow to your vase, or you can leave it simple as I did and then just add some flowers or greenery inside your vase. And I think this way your project is going to look amazing. I love how this DIY turns out, and it looks in a very high-end looking. For the next DIY, I'm going to use a piece of cardboard from a box that I just have at home, and I use a round plate, and I'm going to draw 2 circles on my cardboard, and then I'm going to cut them out. And just in case, the circles can be the size that you want. From there, I'm going to be using rope. I got this one at Walmart and it costs between $4 to $5, and I really like it. I love the color it has, so that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be gluing this rope with hot glue into the cardboard in a circular way from the inside to the outside until it is completely covered. I hope that makes sense. You can cover the cardboard on both sides if you wish, but it is not necessary. In addition, you will spend more rope and spend more work, so I just cover one side of the cardboard. Once both pieces are covered, I'm going to be using a small box. I get this one from a pasta, and I'm going to cut it to make it smaller. Then I also cut the edges of the box just to make them a little bit rounder. And then I'm going to be covering this box with the same rope and hot glue until it is completely covered. But I'm going to be leaving the sides with no rope because again, it's not necessary. You're not going to see that part of this box. I'm basically going to be creating like a small hanging bag that is going to look so cute that you can use to decorate the wall, your shelf, or any part of your house, and it's going to look so pretty. You will see. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, and from there I will glue everything together. I will glue the box on the back side of the circle cardboard, and then I'm going to be doing the same on the other side. From there, I'm going to create the handle of this bag. So for that, I'm going to be using 3 long pieces of rope that I cut, and I'm going to glue them on one side with hot glue, and then I'm going to start making a braid. This is going to be like the hanging system for the bag. So once the braid is ready, you can stick that with hot glue to your bag. Guys, inside of these you can put so many things. You can maybe put flowers, you can put greenery as I did, you maybe can put a small blanket, and it's going to look amazing. Anyway guys, you have many options of how to decorate these, and I place mine hanging on my shelf in my entryway area, and I love how it looks. I'm going to be using this cylinder glass vase from Dollar Tree. I really want to give it a different look and not see that it is glass. So for that, I'm going to be using contact paper, and this contact paper is from Dollar Tree and it looks like wood texture, and I just love that. And I'm going to measure and cut the piece that I need with my paper trimmer just to make it perfect and straight. And I'm just going to stick it on my whole vase. You need to check the edges of the vase and just make sure that the contact paper is well folded on the edges to make it look nice. From there, I decide to place a piece of this blue tape and just stick it around my base. And I decide to use my Waverly chalk paint in black color, and I just going to paint over the contact paper. To dry the paint in my projects, I always like to use my heat tool, and once it is dry, I can remove the blue tape. You can add more details to your vase if you want. I just left it simple and modern, and I just put this eucalyptus bush from Walmart, and voila, this will be the result. And I just love how easy it was to do and how cute it looks. I'm going to be using 3 of these Dollar Tree wood crates, and the first thing I want to do is to give them color, but I want to keep seeing the wood texture from the crates. So for that, you can use any wood stain that maybe you have. This time I'm going to be using my Waverly Wax in Antique color, and I'm going to give it only one thin coat of this wax to each of the crates on the inside and the outside. Once they're dry, this is how the crates will look like, and if you like them, you can leave it like that, but I decide to give it just a little bit more like dimension using my Dollar Tree sanding sponge, and I'm just going to be sanding the edges of each crate to remove the excess paint that they have, and I really like how they look this way. Once you're finished sanding all the crates, you're probably going to have a big mess in your work area. So to clean everything, I'm going to be using my mini ladybug vacuum. I get this vacuum at Amazon, and of course you can find the link in the description box of this video. From there, guys, you can stick stickers, you can use maybe paint, you can use a stencil. This time I decided to use my Cricut Joy, and I just created 3 decals with white vinyl. The first one says thankful, and I'm going to stick it on one side of the crate. The second one says grateful, and the third one says bless, and I stick it on the other side of the crate just to make it a little bit more fun. Once finished, I'm going to place them on the top of each other, and if you don't want them to fall down, you can put some glue on them if you want. Now it's a fun part. You can fill your boxes with whatever you want. Maybe you can use flowers, greenery, leaves, foxtail. Once you're done, this will be the result of our project, and I love it. It looks absolutely beautiful. It is super budget friendly to do, and you can decorate it for different seasons. For the next project, I will be using this Dollar Tree wooden box that has a drawer. I'm not going to be using the smaller wooden box, only the big one, and the first thing I did was to change the color, and I painted in black chalk paint, but remember that you can use the color that you like the best. After the whole box is painted and dry, you can use a stencil or maybe a sticker or draw something. I made 4 decals with these like vintage tile design that I made with my Cricut, and I'm going to glue one on each side of the wooden box. Okay, once the decals are all stick in my wooden box, I thought it would look better if I put a little height on this box, so I decided to use these beads, and I left them in the natural wood color, and I glue one on each side. You can buy these beads in Amazon, and I leave you the link in the description box of the video. Once this cute planter is ready, you can place maybe succulents or stems inside. I put some pieces of foam and a fox-like plant stem, and then I cover everything with moss, or maybe you can put stones if you prefer. Once finished, this will be the result of this easy and beautiful project, and I really love how it looks and how budget friendly it was to make. Next project is one of my favorites. I'm going to use a piece of wood stick that I have at home. It is from Home Depot, and it costs only $1. And I'm going to cut it in 3 equal parts with my saw machine. When you're cutting the sticks, one of the edges can be straight cutted, but the other side of each one of the sticks need to be cutted diagonally. From there, you can paint each one of the sticks, and I'm going to be using my Waverly wax in antique color, and I'm going to paint just 2/3 of each of the wooden sticks. Once they are dry, I'm going to be sticking these blue tape to form straight lines from where I want to change the paint color. You must place all the sticks together to have the tape at the same level. I decided to give it a color contrast using my Waverly chalk paint in white color to each of the sticks, and I give it 2 coats of paint, and once it is dry, you can remove the blue tape. From there, you're going to need a piece of wood. I'm going to use this round plaque that I already had at home, and it is from Walmart, and I'm going to put 3 nails forming like a triangle in the center of the round plaque. Once I have the nails placed, I know where each one of the sticks go. So I'm going to be placing them and I'm going to finish putting the nails. Guys, the part of the sticks that are cut diagonally is the one that needs to be attached to the wood plaque. And the edges that are cut straight are the ones that go on the floor. Hope that makes sense. And when you put the 3 sticks where they go, you can put more nails if you think they need it to make an extra reinforcement. Once you have this part ready, this is how it's going to look. And I want to make a planter, so I'm going to be using this cookie container. It is a very good size. So I'm going to be using it and I'm going to be painting these using my Waverly chalk paint in black or ink color. I give it 2 coats of paint to cover everything very well. And between each coat, I always use my heat tool. Once it dries, you can place it on the top of the wooden base, and then you can put greenery or maybe flowers if you want. And this is how our wooden planter will look like. It is one of my favorite projects and it's perfect to add a really nice touch to your home. I'm going to be using 2 of these wooden crates from Dollar Tree, and I want to join them and make them a little bit longer, like a long wooden crate. So for that I'm going to be using hot glue and I'm going to add it on one side of the crate and then glue them together. From there I'm going to add some color, and for that I'm going to be using my Waverly chalk paint in black color. I just give it 1 coat of paint, make sure that everything is covered, and then dry it. To dry this project and all my projects, I love to use my heat tool because it is much faster and easier. In the description you can find the link of this product. Once everything is dry, I will use my sanding sponge and I will sand all the edges of the crate to highlight the natural color of the wood. This is not necessary, but I really love how it looks. Now, I also want to give this project some height, so for that I'm going to be using the other wooden caps that I have left over. And the first thing I did was to paint them with my Waverly waxing antique color and then let them dry. To stick them, I'm going to be using hot glue and I'm going to glue 1 on each corner of the crate. From there, the only thing you need to do is to fill and decorate your crate as you want. I decided to use this greenery, it's from Walmart, and then I decided to add some cotton balls. These ones are from Hobby Lobby, but you can find also cotton balls at Dollar Tree. And then I also add foxtail to finish filling any space that I have left over, and I think it looks super good. I love the neutral colors it has. Project, I'm going to use a round wood plaque that I had. It is from Michael's for only $1. And I'm also going to be using bamboo skewers. These ones are from Dollar Tree for only $1. So the first thing I'm going to do is to start cutting the bamboo skewers of the same size, about like 5 to 6 inches long, something like that. And to cut these bamboo skewers, the easiest way and the easiest thing to use are dog nail clippers. And this is a really great tip that a subscriber gave it to me a long time ago, and I love it. I'm going to start gluing the bamboo skewers on my wood plaque with hot glue because it dries faster. But at the same time that I'm going to be gluing the bamboo skewers, I'm going to be using these wooden beads that I bought from Amazon. It brings 300 beads in 2 different sizes, and they are from a really great quality, and I'm going to leave you the link in the description box. So I'm going to use the small beads size, and I'm going to place the beads inside of the bamboo skewers to know what space I must leave between each piece and make sure they have the same separation space. Depending on how long you want to cut the skewers is the amount of beads that you should use. And once you have finished placing all of them, you must cut the excess bamboo skewer that you have left. To make sure that the beads are not going to come out and they are going to stay there and strong, I will stick a piece of rope on the top, and it will give that finished touch to this project. And I'm going to do the same on the bottom of this vase, and I'm going to glue a piece of rope to cover all those small pieces that you can see from the bamboo skewers, and at the same time this is going to help the vase to be stronger. Once all these is nice and secure, you can put flowers inside your vase, you can put greenery, or you can use this vase for the office, and you can paint the beads the color that you want. For this project, I'm gonna be working with this paint. It's my Waverly chalk paint in plaster color. I'm going to put it in a plate, and I'm going to add baking soda, and this is going to add texture to the paint. You can add the amount of baking soda that you want. I'm going to add just a little bit just to add more texture to the paint. Okay, now I'm going to be adding cornmeal to the paint. I know it's a little bit strange, but this is going to add like a sand look. Of course, you can add sand. It's just that this is the only thing that I have at home that looks similar, so I'm going to be using cornmeal, yeah. And then I'm going to add it to the paint, and I'm going to mix everything very well. This is going to add the most amazing texture to the paint. Once the cornmeal and the paint is mixed together, I'm going to be using these glass vase that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start painting my vase with the paint and with that cornmeal to give it color and texture. I'm going to be painting this vase only in one direction. I think that way is a little bit easier, and you need to add 2 paint coats to make sure that this is going to cover your vase well. To dry, this is going to take a little bit, so I'm going to be using my heat tool to dry everything so much faster, and then I'm going to be adding the other coat paint. I'm going to be focusing on those areas where my jar doesn't get any kind of paint or texture, and then I'm going to dry it, and this is how the vase is going to be looking. Super cool with a nice texture. Nobody's going to know that this is a vase from Dollar Tree. Then I'm going to add rocks on the bottom to have some weight on it, and you can add any kind of moss that you have at home just to fulfill the vase. I was inspired by one of the pieces that Studio McGee launched, so I'm going to be using these olive branches that I get from Amazon. They are 4 branches. I'm only going to be using 2 or 3 depending on how it looks, and I'm going to be adding these to my vase, and then I'm going to add more Spanish moss or any moss that you have and you like on the top, just to make sure that it's going to look nice and with a high-end look. And guys, this is a very easy DIY, and I really like how it looks. The ones from Studio McGee have a really nice vase with a texture like this one, so I was inspired by that. And with these branches that I get from Amazon, this DIY is on my budget. I still have more of these olive branches branches so I can use them in other projects. And I use the vase from Dollar Tree, so this project cost me around $13, something like that. So I really love how it turned out and with a high-end look. I'm very happy for that, and I hope that you like it. Next project, and I'm going to be using these decanter vase that I get from Dollar Tree, and I really like the shape of it. And I'm also going to be using this rope that I have at home. You can use the one from Dollar Tree, the nautical rope, but I didn't have enough at home, so I'm just going to be using this one that works amazing too, and I get it from Walmart. And I'm going to be cutting a few pieces in the same size, and then I'm just going to be gluing those in a vertical line on my vase. You want to stick about 15 pieces of rope because you want to make sure that you're going to have sets of 3. So I stick 15 pieces of rope. Then what I'm going to be doing is to start trying to make a braid. I was like so scared about this DIY. At first I had no idea what I was doing, but I just took it easy, and then I just started like figuring out how to make a braid with like 15 pieces of rope. But I think the hardest part is when you start making the braid, then everything is going to be so much easier. But remember guys, if you don't want to make a braid, it's okay, you can do something else. Maybe if you know how to do macrame, you can do that too, and I know that is going to look awesome too. Once I was done with my crazy braid, I'm gonna start sticking the rope on my vase. I need to do these just to make sure that it's not going anywhere, and also because my braid was like too small and I need to make it bigger. So I'm gonna try to like move all the pieces of rope and make my braid a little bit bigger, and that way is going to cover most of my vase. I hope that you can see what I'm doing. Once I stick all the braid into my vase, I'm going to cut the extra rope that I have, and then I'm going to add hot glue just to make sure that everything is going to stick well. And then you maybe can add a piece of rope and stick it on the top where all those ends of ropes are, just to make sure that that part is going to look so much better. Once I was done with my vase, this is how my project turned out. I was so scared about this project, but I think it turned out amazing. I put a small piece of greenery inside to make it look like simple and modern at the same time, and I'm just so happy how this project turned out, and I hope that you like it too. I just want to make sure that this video helps you and inspires you to be creative and to do so many things at home and on a budget. For the next project, I'm going to be using this super cute Easter basket that I get from Dollar Tree. It comes in a set of 2. I'm only going to be using one for this project, and I'm going to be removing the handle, and then I'm going to be cutting the two small like dots that protrude from the basket, and then I'm going to be using my sanding sponge to sand those pieces of like plastic to make them look as better as I can. Then I'm going to be using this candle holder that I get from Dollar Tree. I'm reusing this one, that's why it is white and black. But I'm going to be sticking that to the bottom of the basket using E6000 and hot glue to make sure that it's going to stay strong. Then I'm going to be painting these using this matte pale sage spray paint, and I'm going to give it only one coat of paint, and it already looks amazing, so I'm going to leave it with one coat, and then I'm going to be decorating these bees. To decorate it, I'm going to first add some height inside to be able to stick this small candle, and then I'm going to be adding this greenery bouquet that I get from Dollar Tree. I love these, I love the colors it has, so I'm going to be cutting a few pieces, and then I'm going to be adding them to my basket and make sure that it's covered with the greenery. Once I was done, this is how this project turned out. It was super simple. You can add more details to the basket if you want. I want to leave it simple, and I love how it looks, and I hope that you like it too. It was so inexpensive to do, and it looks amazing. Okay, for this project, I'm going to be using this glass cylinder vase that I get from Dollar Tree, and I really like this vase to make so many projects. And another thing that I'm going to be using is rope. I'm going to use this nautical rope, and I'm going to basically unroll the rope because it's super thick and I need it to be a little bit thinner. So I'm going to unroll the rope, and then I'm going to start sticking that rope from the bottom of my glass vase. I'm going to cover my vase about 1/3 of the length of my vase, just a small part because I want the other part to have another color. Once I cover this part of my vase, I'm going to be using this other nautical rope from Dollar Tree. Again, it's super thick, so I'm going to unroll the rope, and I'm going to start sticking that thin rope until I cover my whole vase. And to stick all the ropes, I'm going to be using hot glue. Once I was done covering my vase with rope, this is how it's going to look, and I really like it, but I think it needs something else, so I'm going to be using this faux leather ribbon that I get from Dollar Tree. I love the color. So yeah, I just cut 2 small pieces, and I'm going to be sticking those ribbon pieces on each side of my vase, and these are going to look like small handles, and it's going to add more texture and a cute little touch to my vase. Once I put the 2 small pieces of ribbon, this is how the vase is going to look, and I really like it. I'm going to be adding a small detail to the pieces of ribbon that I stick. I'm going to be using these drawing pins, and I'm going to cut the tip that has, and then I'm going to be sticking that to each end of the ribbon that I put, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. This is going to add just a small detail, but I think it looks amazing, and it gives it a high-end look. And guys, once I was done, I put a plant inside of my vase, and this is how my project turned out. I really like it, and it has a high-end look. I think it looks so expensive, but it was on a budget, so happy how it turned out. For this next project, I'm going to be using this ceramic vase that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm reusing this one, and I think this one has a lid on it, but I don't need it for this project. You can use any one that you have at home. And I'm also going to be using this leather ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. I think they have it in 5 different colors. This is like the hazelnut one. I am going to be cutting like 5 or 6 pieces of ribbon, a little longer than the width of the vase that I'm using, and then I'm going to glue them from one end, and I'm going to glue them all together, forming like a vertical line. Then I'm going to cut other several pieces of ribbon, but that are a little longer than what your vase measures. Okay, once I have all the small ribbon pieces, I'm going to be gluing them to the bottom of the vase with hot glue. And then I'm going to like intertwine them between the other ribbons to form a basket pattern. And then I'm going to glue that small ribbon piece on the top of the vase. This is super easy. Just make sure that you are forming this pattern one by one, and you only need to add hot glue like on the top and on the bottom of the small ribbons. In this way it's going to be so easy. You're not going to have any mess with the glue, and just make sure that all of the pieces are really tied together. And yeah, it is super easy and it's going to look amazing. I think for this type of vase, it's not too big, so I think I use about 1.5 packages of this ribbon to completely cover my vase. Once you stick all the small pieces of ribbon and you make all the pattern like this basket pattern, that is super easy. Promise you guys, this is so relaxing and I was really enjoying the process. At the end, guys, once you finish covering the vase, you need to make sure that the end of each ribbon is not visible. You can add hot glue in the ends and just make sure that each piece of ribbon sticks well. And guys, you can even fold the corners and glue them to make it look good and with a high-end look. Once you're done and you glue the ends of the ribbon, this is how the vase is going to be looking, and oh my god, I love it. I think it looks amazing. Now you can add whatever you want inside. You can add a planter. This is one that I get from the Target dollar spot. It looks amazing, but you can also add maybe succulents. These ones are from Dollar Tree, and I love how this project turned out. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I think this project is one of my favorites. I was inspired by a piece that I saw on anthropology.com to make like this type of pattern using leather, and I found this ribbon on Dollar Tree, so I was so excited to make this DIY. I have so many more ideas, so if you find this type of ribbon, guys, get it, because you can do so many things and it's so inexpensive on Dollar Tree. For this next project, I'm going to be using these clay pots that I get from Dollar Tree. They come in 2 different sizes and these ones are the biggest ones, and I'm going to be using 2 packages because I need 3 in total. Then I'm going to be using my Waverly chalk paint in white color, and what I'm going to be doing is super simple. I'm just going to be painting a strip in white color on the bottom of each one of the clays, and you can use tape to make sure they're going to look straight, but I did it by hand and I actually think they look so good. So once I paint that and the paint is dry, I'm going to be using these letter stickers, and you can get these from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using the letters H-E-N-Y because I'm going to form the word hey, and I'm going to be sticking each one of the stickers in the middle of the pots between the line and the terracotta color. Once I have that part ready, I'm going to fulfill the clay pots with these stones that I get from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to add 1 succulent from Dollar Tree on each one of the clay pots, and this is how my project turned out. It is a super easy DIY, guys, that you can do that looks amazing, and I think it's just perfect now for spring. It's perfect to add to your entry table, to your kitchen, to your dining table, and you can do it too using more clay pots and forming another word if you want. For this next project, I'm going to be using this Easter basket that I get from Dollar Tree. And I know it has so many colors, it's not my style, but what I really like about these baskets is the oval shape that it has. So I'm going to be using this basket for this next project, and the first thing I did was to cut the handles because I don't need that. Once I cut the handle of my basket, I decide to paint and cover all those colors using my spray paint in ultra matte black color with about like 2 or 3 coats to make sure that I cover all the colors of the basket. Once the paint is dry, I'm going to be using this faux leather ribbon that I get from Dollar Tree, and I really like this ribbon. I have been using these in so many other projects, and I decide to basically create like 2 small handles on this basket that is going to add a really nice touch and is going to make these look so much better with a high-end look, and is going to add more texture and color to this project. Once I stick the 2 pieces of ribbon on my basket, this is how they look, and I stick them with hot glue because this is going to dry so much faster. Okay, next I decided to add another small touch to the basket, and that was to stick these wooden beads on the bottom of the basket. This is going to add some height to the basket and is going to give it a nice touch. And this is how this project turned out. It was super simple. I just put some plants inside of the basket. You can add maybe some flowers, or you can use these for the bathroom and add 2 toilet papers. I think they can fit perfectly on this basket. And guys, please let me know which of these 15 projects was your favorite. Let me know that in the comments, and make sure that you give me a big thumbs up. That really helps to support my channel. And make sure that you are subscribed, that you hit the bell, and that you share this video with friends and family. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and remember that you can follow me on all my social media pages, webpage, and my other channel, JAZOMY Home. All the links are in the description box of this video, and see you on the next one. Mwah. Bye.